Let's close our eyes. Relax the hands. Thank God for one more day in our lives. Eating. We can take this opportunity to connect with ourselves, to connect with our spirit guides, connect with Jesus. I wonderful night. Lovely lecture from Jachson, in the inspired. Full of energy, so that we can spread other people.
So thank you. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about a subject that oh yeah, sorry about that. Just to go to the other screen. Yeah, got it. Okay, so it's going to be from a subject that I am. Yeah, it's one of my favorites, I would say. Yeah. So this is, in fact, I have done this subject before a long time ago, some time ago, and I just review it, and it's still interesting. So let's discuss. Let's start. Because I have a lot of material, I'll probably be running through to be able to comply with the time. So let me start here. I need to reposition this thing here. Just a minute. I need to just bear with me. I need to reposition the Zoom screen. Okay. So what's going on here? I should have oh no, is this one here? Yeah. Okay, now we are ready to go. So the first, as I said before, this is the I'm going to talk about detachment. Detachment is an essential component in the spiritual development. Oh, we have someone arriving. Yeah, Angela is arriving as well. Hey, Angela. So it's an essential component in the spiritual development. It's one of the spiritual laws, principles on the spirit in any spiritist religion. So 10 out of 10 spiritualist religion or philosophies would mention attachment as critical for the spiritual development. It's present in many religions, although differently portrayed on the body of any of those. So particularly Oriental, Hinduism, Buddhism, Muslim, the Catholicism as well, philosophy, and the Spiritism. So detachment is it's fundamental for the relationship between the body and the soul. Attachment is something that I'm going to the next slide for the attachment, but it's as well very related to, as I mentioned, when I mentioned the religions, the other religions, Spiritism also has detachment related, and it's part of the principles of the Spiritism, together with the existence of a spirit, the belief in the existence of a spirit, and also with the belief of reincarnation. Okay, Attachment, what's it? It's the known acceptance. That's quite basic. If you go to the definition of attachment in any religion, in anywhere, it is what comes. It is the known acceptance of the transience or impermanence of things. There is a joke that I just heard 2 days ago. Someone say, oh, coffin doesn't have a drawer. Coffin don't have drawers. So you cannot take anything. You know, drawers where you can put things. A coffin don't have drawers. Why? A coffin. Yeah, a coffin. I got it? No, a coffin. A coffin doesn't have a drawer. Or casket, yeah, doesn't have drawers because you don't take anything, right? Yeah, so material things I'm talking about. Yeah, you see, they put it in the pockets. Yeah. Well, Egyptians were notorious for they try to take things with them. Well, so in many parables in the Bible, Jesus refer to that impermanence or transience of things. I remember the parable of the rich man who was, storing his crop, and yeah, that's one of the parables. But so that we don't take possessions, titles, reputation, even the suffering and the joy with us, right? So on earth, nothing is permanent, only the soul is immortal. It's the memory of the pleasure that we take from the future that causes, there's more people arriving. So usually this is, hello. Hey. So the memory of pleasure and pain, that it's usually the memory of pleasure or pain that we take to the future. So if we have let's say, if you have experienced a great pleasure of your son, gave you a great pleasure, a great pride, you take this to the future. You don't let it go. And similar to pain, we always be afraid of that thing coming, and so we refrain to let it go. We refrain of seeing in a different way. So usually, behind each vicissitude of suffering, there is a attachment behind it. Okay, so great traumas and even war, or things that we may actually bring from past lives, can influence and cause attachments. So attachment is not just possessions, but attachments to sensations, to emotions. Okay. It's usually when we get attached, when we don't realize or forget our true self. We forget that we are spirit beings. When you forget that, then the attachment really gets settled. So we still need to remember that we are pure consciousness as a spirit. So we start to believe that we need something else to make us happy. We need something. We need to, get something to be to happy. So you may think like, I feel good if I win in a lotto. Well, let's say we won. We feel happy, but now we are concerned and afraid of losing it. It may cause pain. Oh, I will be happy if my son remains in Brisbane. Yes, he is in Brisbane. However, you're now thinking that he may go, and then it causes pain. It may cause pain. So if you are detached, it will not cause pain because we let it go. We live it. Yeah, there are some other examples here. Like if I lose 3 kilos to get thin, I'll be better. Or if I find my soulmate, or if I pay off my bills, I feel better. Yeah, my daughter told me today, oh, I would like to detach of my mortgage. Well, it's not really this way, but anyway. So, what I've done here. Okay. So attachment is based on fear and insecurity. It comes from primal needs from when we were, primitive, where we need to retain things to be able to survive. So we will collect stuff, stockpile to be able to have this food for survival. But this was a long time ago when we were not really aware of what we were as beings with just primal needs. And yeah, so that's where our state at the time. So attachment comes from the body, but mainly from the body. It doesn't come from the spirit. And because of it's come from the body, it constrains us to our physical limitation, right? It induces us to live within its constraint, within its physical limitations. It always drives us to satisfy the needs of that body in different ways, right? And reduces or even block the perception of our soul. So we live in a function of satisfying the needs of our body. So, as I said, satisfaction of the physical existence needs, attachment to the body. So I can give an example. Imagine people running crazy about financial, like my daughter, she now trying to get a job to going. It's not really the attachment but yes, it still is. On the other hand, I have I have a niece that is now somewhere in Cairns or somewhere somewhere in Cairns or somewhere towards the other side of Australia in a 4-wheel drive. She's 29 years old. She's an example of detachment in the sense that she says, I'm going there and see what happens. A minimum planning. So what happened there? A minimum planning and living the blessed uncertainty. The uncertainty brings us the experience, is what makes us evolve. Okay, so another way as well of being attachment is when we try to control other people or impose ideas. The need for controlling. That's another attachment, example of attachment. We don't let go our point of view. We don't let it go our impression that someone is not doing what we think it should be doing. That's still attachment. Yes.
Jachson, is that from the body or the mind?
Well, it's coming from the it's coming from the physical, right? Yeah.
Not the mental.
Yeah. 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 Body and mind. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So this kind of thing again, this type of you know, approach delay or even block one's progress and their chance to have a go to the challenge. For example, that's another thing. I try to influence my daughter to do some kind of study because she needs to do this. So I'm trying to influence. So what I'm doing, I'm blocking as well her chance of doing what she thinks is better for her, or even experiencing, you know, relationships, etc. We always try to control, try to avoid them to suffer. But this is attachment. We are actually doing a disservice to their development. Okay. So it limits our outer capacity, and what I'm want to say about outer capacity is that it prevents us to deal with uncertainty because we pursue the known. We want to be in control. I don't want to live out of my comfort zone. I pursue the known. So this attachment to the known and always going through to the known because I know what's coming, I know, so I'm prepared. It limits our outer capacity, our capacity as Helena is doing there in Outback. She is not constrained. She is open to whatever happens because she's not looking for the known. She's keen to the unknown. And this is the pure detachment. It's being able to deal with the unknown. And also it limits our inner potentiality because when we are locked into the needs of the body, we don't develop, we don't review, don't look at our inner, what our inner ourselves, our spiritual side. We have huge potential spiritually looking from the spiritual side, mediumship, ability to do stuff with our spiritual body. So, as I said before, blessed is the uncertainty. So we, when I mentioned the inner potentiality, I'm talking about the spiritual connections, spiritual enlightenment, development, yoga, meditation, and find out those abstracted or esoterical or less physical sensations and learnings, and which is really what matters. It's the awakening of our love and compassion. It's our realization of God. Why we get attached and linked to the physical, we are blocked from that. Okay. I hope I was clear, clear as mud. Just dig this. This thing is really Okay, so material possessions, types of attachments we have. Material possessions, the desire is the, have a car or yeah, money, emotions. This is based on primary instinct of survival, which I have mentioned before. It's really primal. Then we have the attachment about emotions and feelings related to the physical pleasure and illusory, yeah, happiness. Yeah, which is related with the addictions and attachment to people. So people that are addicted to drugs or this kind of pleasure, again, this is an attachment, illusory attachment. It's an emotional attachment. It's interesting because I've seen as well comments from people that smoke, like Carmen used to smoke. She said, "Oh, when I smoking, I feel good. I feel better." Illusory. This is the type of attachment I'm talking about. And the other one is the ego. That's the worst and hard to get rid of. So this is attachment to ideas and concepts, beliefs that are in our personality to impress others and ourselves. Include there the needs to control other people, which is impose ideas, right? So detachment. What is detachment about? As I mentioned before, it's mainly about letting go. This guy is looking at my, he's looking at first. Alex. Okay. So it's mainly about letting go. It's our attachments to our desires, our needs to control other people, and our needs to control outcomes. Okay. This is about letting go those things. What is the worst? You cannot see because you're looking here. Yeah, the worst of them, it's the need to control other people. You cannot help not doing this. Let it go. Hold yourself not trying to control people, not trying to make them do what you like to. Well, let's say it's good because I disagree. Now, my desire is that. Yeah. No. But this is a fallacious we're talking about. No. Desires, talking about desires about wishing, money, and material stuff. That's about desires, not in other. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Detachment is mainly about letting go our attachment to our desires. More, let's say more the ones that are really non-beneficial. Because if you say, I desire to no longer control people, this is a good desire. No. Yeah, but then we get in the lock here. No, it's not. This is not the idea. This is not this is not the ideal situation. But I think, in my opinion, the most difficult thing is to let it go is control people, and the next one is control outcomes. Okay, I think we're going to remember. Do you know what I mean by about control outcomes? It's when you do something to someone, you wish that the outcome it's attached to your mind to say, it's like Mother Teresa de Calcutta. She goes there, do her charity, but she doesn't expect anything from what she said. My mom used to say to me, belongs to God. So you put the result on the God's feet. God will decide. This is detachment from the results. You do the, you have someone who is addicted, and you help that person. You know that the chance of this person not being addicted anymore is very slim, but you're still going there. You're still doing it with all your goodwill, with all your patience and devoutness to do it. So, and you don't expect that the person change. What I mean, you have hope, but you don't expect. I'm doing this because I want that person to change. This is attachment to the outcome. I think further I will talk about this a little bit more. Remind or realize that our true self. So you have to remind and realize our true self by doing this, by letting go those things. So spiritual detachment, not caring for the result of, a question for you, not caring for the result of our actions. Oh, I'll put the phrase there. Not caring for the result of our actions. Does it fit with detachment? Does it fit? What do you reckon? Yeah. Does this phrase fit with detachment? If not, why? Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. So this it fits, because not caring has exactly that meaning. All right, is not being the primary thing that you expect. You don't have expectations when you do an action, particularly charity action. All right. So yeah. So this is the Krishna said, you only have the right to act, but not to the fruits of that action. You don't have the right of the fruits of the action. God has. So I think Colleen can read it, but you guys here probably not. So Krishna said, Arjuna, you only have the right to act, karma. At the same time, you do not have the right for the fruits of actions. You should not act motivated by the fruit of actions, and also never be inactive anytime. So that's good. You should not be motivated by the expected outcome. And this was Mother Teresa de Calcutta. She was not motivated by the outcomes, but for the opportunity to do it. So the results of our work, we leave it to God. As I said, my mom used to say, to God belongs. Yeah. So we are acting. Oops, back. We are acting for God's sake. So we are, oh God. Yeah. So we realize we are the hand of God. We create the action and the effect God provides. So we are we act for God's sake. So attachment is based on fear and insecurity, as I mentioned before. while detachment is based on the unquestioning belief in the power of our true self. It's believing that everything is all right, believing that we're going to achieve, or if not, well, was not to be achieved anyway. So let's see what's happened and let's learn with that. Be open to that. Be open to the uncertainty. That's what detachment is. It's not hiding, it's not doing to not get hurt, which is a different type of detachment. Intended for everything to work out as it should, then let it allow opportunities and open to come to our way. And this interesting phrase that probably Colleen is going to like that. Detachment comes from an inner, look at this. Detachment comes from an inner knowingness that we are a pattern of behavior of a higher intelligence. I'll repeat. Detachment comes from an inner knowingness that we are a pattern for behavior of a higher intelligence. When things don't seem to go our way, we can let go for our idea of how things should be. Understood? I say again. When things don't seem to go our way, we can let go. We can let go of our idea of how things should be. We know in our limited awareness, we cannot see the synchronistic, harmonious patterns of the universe of which we and our intentions are part of. So we accept and we, it's acceptance basically that we are part of a big thing and everything is all right. And as Colleen would say, love is in the middle. Love is managing everything. Okay. That's it. And so this is actually, I had a discussion last week about what the definition of fate. I think this is part of the definition of fate. This is fate, having fate. I would say that fate is between hope and assurance, a certainty. That's where fate lives, between those two things. Hope and certainty. So we hope that, well, I hope that goes in the way I would like to. But certainty that whatever happens, it's all right. It's okay. I'm going to be better wherever is the outcome. Even if I don't understand. That's fate. Yeah. Okay. How to achieve this? The stride action is practical without attachment. What? So, what do? We change our attitude, we set our intentions, take whatever action is needed, relinquish our attachment to the outcome. So here are a few powerful affirmations you can use to practice detachment in your daily life. Okay, choose one or two and practice saying them to yourself through the day. First one is, so the 7 affirmations. First one is, I consciously commit to flexibility and detachment. Another one, I allow myself and those around me the freedom to be themselves without imposing rigid ideas of right and wrong. Trying to control someone. 3, I live my life in a state of engaged detachment. I release the need to judge or criticize. I remember Colleen saying this all the time. And I express myself honestly while releasing any need to impose my beliefs on other people. Whenever I notice that I am becoming emotionally attached to a point of view, I take a deep breath and come back to a more centered place. That's happening in Brazil, isn't it? No, it's not. That's what Brazil needs at the moment. And oops, the last one. I embrace detachment by choosing to be free from the good and bad opinion of others. Okay, so choose 2 of those and repeat them during the day. It's a way of doing that. Okay, some misconceptions about detachment. Being different is being detached. Indifference is a defensive mechanism of the body trying to avoid frustration and suffering. When you are indifferent to a person, you have nothing to do with their success or their failure or their emotions. We have nothing to do if you're indifferent. If you are detached, okay, truly detached, is when you look to them devotedly and selfishly. So you have things to do, but you don't get attached with the results. You may not demonstrate that the person, I want you to improve because I'm doing this. I want you to improve. But I'm doing that, but without expectation. This is detachment. This is detachment. The true detachment. So, and another thing as well that's a misconception. This is come from Sri Chimoy, one of the gurus, or Oriental. Sri Chimoy. Yeah. Attachment and devoutness are the same. Well, attachment is attached to the finite, something that is finite. Devoutness is when you devote yourself to the infinite and are liberated by the infinite with capital I, which is the deity, the divine. Okay, right. So I didn't show that before, right? Oh yeah, so that's what I just said. The difference between attachment and devoutness, they are opposite. Spiritism inner reform. Understand, so what do we need to do, our inner reform? So first thing, we need to understand of the transience, impermanence of things, okay? So detach from the snapshot, which means from that moment. Leave the moment and that's it. So detach from the snapshot of the life. Life gives us a lot of snapshots. You should just contemplate, enjoy, or deal with it at the moment, not take them with you to the future. All right. There is a transcendental Oriental, there's a Oriental say that says, bamboo do not retain the sound after the wind blows. The lake doesn't retain the image of a swim when it's swim and goes. The lake doesn't retain the image, it goes. And so should we with detachment. That's what I mean by the snapshots. We should deal at the time, leave the present, don't take to the future. Okay. So we need to get rid of resentment, which come forgiveness, control our emotions, and affective possessions of people, objects, animals, media impositions, fashion behavior. This are part of our spiritist inner reform. Okay. We need to connect with the spirit right? And have a self-discipline, a vigilant attitude of contentment with the divine providence and what he has given us. So always remember that, contentment. Okay. And then you know that anyone who loves their life will lose it, while anyone who hates their life in this world will keep it for eternal life. That was Jesus. What he means by that is that sacrifice your life, but gain yourself and the infinity possibilities of the spiritual life. It means don't try make your life here pleasurable by being attached to things. You may sacrifice that by exercise your inner self, by knowing more your spiritual life, because you take that for the next life, for your spiritual life. You're going to, let's say, be born for a much, much better life than the material life. And just quickly identify in the gospel. Do you remember Abraham's story? A good story of detachment when he gave his son to the God. Remember that? That was, everybody knows that one? Yeah, at the creation of the Jewish, the Hebrews, God asked Abraham to give his son. All right. Another one is about Ananias assisting Saul. He's persecuted in Damascus. It's when Saul was converted, and Jesus or God said to him, "You need to." And actually, Saul left Rome to catch Ananias. Ananias was on run, on run, and then in the middle of the journey, Saul converted. Have that stuff about, oh my, what do you want from me? And then God said, so you need to treat Ananias, you need to treat Saul that was blind. And Ananias, master, him. And Ananias treat him. Detachment. That detachment of let's say, pain and a fear. Exactly. Yeah, thanks. And another one, Jesus, when he said, who is my mother and who was my brothers? When the mom, his mom and his brother went to a gathering that he was having a house of someone to pick up him because they were afraid that Jesus was going to be, hurt. And then someone told him, look, your mom and your brother are here. And he said, my mom and my brother? Who are my mom? Who are my brother? So he showed detachment of the family to show that brother are really the ones in another life, are the spiritual brothers. There is no such thing as mom and brother in a material life. And obviously, one of the biggest detachment was Jesus being crucified. He gave his life. So that's a huge detachment about, Okay, so for reflection, many things that looks like important just because of the attachment lead us to a self-inflicted slavery, right? Detachment is not that you should own nothing, but that nothing should own you. That's a very popular say as well. Okay. And look beyond the transience of the visible world, and you will start discovering the hidden essence of the creation and creatures. It's contemplation. It's another way of saying contemplation. All right. And to finalize, an interesting thing. Can you read it? They said, Master, is it proper for a monk to use email? And the master said, sure, as long as there is no attachments. That's it. That's me. No problem. Any comment, quick comment, because we are really over the time. No. Yeah. Okay. Someone? Colleen?
Yes, beautiful, Jackson. Always beautiful. Yes. Sometimes we get bogged down with the idea of letting go of everything. But another word we can use is to allow. Allow others to speak. Allow others to grow in their own way. Allow others, even yourself, allow yourself to fail or to slip or to stumble. Allow it and don't be so hell-bent on trying to be perfect. Yes, allow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, Colleen. Thank you.
Thank you too. Beautiful.
All right, so now we're going to the next. It's the prayer for the prayer box. What is she wants to do? Yeah. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Angela. Let's put some money here. Okay. So então, esperar agir. So wait, she's coming. Yeah. So I will invite now everybody to sit comfortable, relaxed. Observe your breath without interfering for some seconds, just to calm down your thoughts. Let's connect with Pedro Manuel team that is here. The works of this house as well are working now, giving us the energy we need. At the same time, we will now join our best energies in one single ball that we can imagine in the middle of this room, where we are attached in a single, in the line, providing energy, our best wishes, our best thoughts. And this ball is growing, a yellow ball growing, an energy. And we deliver this ball, this amount of energy to the PESC team to deliver to those in the box. And also we give another 10 seconds for us to think of someone that is not in the box, that we also want to receive that energy. So the team is taking that energy to each of those that are in the prayer box, and the ones we just put in our mind and suggested the team to do as well, and they will receive what they need with our love and our gratitude. Let those in need be uplifted by our most sincere love. let's also make this energy as well to be sent to any other who are at this moment in need of consolation, in need of quietude of the thoughts, in need of pain relief, that's despair, to calm down their soul, to give them hope in the hospitals, on the streets, on the battlefields, anywhere. That where anywhere when we have someone in pain, in affliction, we are sending this energy as a charity for them to relieve the pain, to relieve their soul. And we ask in the name of God that they receive that. Now we are in gratitude of being able to have this opportunity to provide that energy. We ask the team, the PESC team, Pedro Manuel, that give us as well energy to distribute during the time, those 2 weeks we are going to be out there. Give us as well the clarity of mind to apply detachment where we are become aware of it. That we give us the discipline to be able to do what we need to improve our spiritual life. And we are grateful for the opportunity to be able to understand this, to be able to do it, to action. And we are detached to the result, because the result will come, the best what we need will be ensured, whatever it is. And wherever it is, we will be grateful. Thank you, Pedro Manuel and his team for preparing this environment. We are thankful as well for the healing path that we've been given now by the spiritual team, taking the energy that we no longer need and giving us the energy that will take from here that will make us better. This place better than when we arrived. So we in gratitude say thank you to the team and hope that we'll be here in 2 weeks' time again. So be it. Thank you. Já fiz o passe. Yes, the healing pass was given by the team, taking the energy we don't need and giving what we need. So we are ready. Okay. Colleen, thank you for being here with us. We are grateful for your presence as well, Yvonne, and this light shining in both of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jachson. Blessings to us all. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.